So today we are going to be looking at sum in Excel. So I'm going to show you guys how to sum in Excel. So first of all, these are the so you have sum, subtraction, that is addition, multiplication, division. So we are going to see how to use this to make our calculations in Excel. So now if you look at this from this little example, you can see that our quantity of product to get our total price, we need to multiply our quantity of product with our unit price, correct? So what we are going to do in Excel, every formula must start with equal to, right? Every calculation rather must start with equal to. Even your formula starts with equal to. So because we are going to multiply, we are going to say equal to C3. Why is it C3? Because this is what we are going to use. It falls in this column under C, right? So rather C2 rather. So we are going to use the column C and the row 2. So we are using the column, right, and the row 2 to do our calculations, right? So if you did something like this, you just tap on your escape key on your keyboard to go back. So now I said we are going to say equal to C2, right? So we are using the alphabet C and the row 2. Multiply. So you can see that our multiplication is asterisk, which is your shift 8 on your keyboard on your laptop. So we are going to say D2. Now you can see it has been highlighted. Now I'm going to tap the enter key. It's going to give us the answer. Now we are going to do the same thing for the next one, but we are going to do something different. Now we're going to say equal to C3, right? Now instead of you typing your D theory, you can just tap on it, right? And it will automatically pick, the column or row that you want. Now what we are going to do in the next one, we're going to say equal to sum. Yes, you can use sum and open your bracket, and then you say C2. You can just say C2, or just come here and just pick your C2, and then put your asterisk and you pick this one. And even though you don't close your bracket, you can still get your answer, but it's good practice that you close your bracket. So I'll tap enter and I'll get the answer. Now another thing I'd like to show you, now you see we have looked at three style for doing this. So another thing I would like to show you is I'm going to tap on this, right, and you look at this little square box. So I'm going to drag down, and I'm going to automatically get the answer. So when you multiply 7 times 250, this is the answer you get. When you multiply 3 times 500, this is the answer you get. So it automatically fills the answer, because Excel is going to look at the formula you used, right, to get to the answer. And to know if your formula is correct, you can look at what we have here, right? You can look at what we have here and see that it's correct. C6 multiplied by D6. Now I want to look at the addition, right, which is supposed to be the first thing to look at, but I want you to so we can come here and say equal sum, open bracket. Then we want to say first of all, let's add before I continue, let's say I want to add let me come to this place. Let's say I want to add 600 plus 200. Now we're going to look at different addition method. Now let's say I want to add 600 plus 200. I'll say equal sum, right? And now I'm going to say what do you think I'm going to say? Because I want to add 600 and 200 together. I'm going to say 600, right, plus 200. Now it's E2, right, D2. I'm going to tap my enter, right? Now that is if you want to add for this. Now let's say I want to add 600 plus 500. Now what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to say equal sum, right? Now 600, you can say comma 500. Now when you add 600 and 500, you get your answer. Now you say, wow, you can use comma. Yes, you can use comma to add in Excel. Now let's say I want to add everything in this range, and by the way, this is called a range. When you alight, more than two cells, more than one cell, it's called a range. So let's say I want to add up everything that is here. So what do I do? I'll say equals sum, right? Now watch what I do. I'm going to say e2 because I want to add up everything to get my total, right? I'm going to say e2, right? Now instead of say plus, or you just come to say e2 plus e3 plus e4, which is inexperienced or unprofessional, you just say column. So in Excel you use column, to calculate everything in that particular range or row or column. So I'm going to say e2 column e6. I'm going to tap and get my total. Let me put that here. So I'm going to call this my total, right? Now of course you can in my other video I showed you guys how to move your cell and other tricks in Excel. Now let's say I want to add this, but I'm going to do this differently. Now I'm going to say equals sum, right? And I'm going to open my bracket. I'm going to say, now instead of me saying okay, I want to say D2 column D6, right? That is the correct thing to do, right? I'm just going to highlight it. Now I say Excel has automatically picked what I want to add up together. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to press my enter. Now you see how easy that is. Now let's go to subtraction, and of course all you just need to do, let's say for example I want to subtract I want to subtract 200 from 500. Of course you already know what that is going to be, so I'm going to say equals d 2 minus d let's say 200 from 500, right? So minus d6. So see, this is going to give us minus 300, which is correct, right? So you have to say d6 minus d2. Now let's say I want to add everything here and I want to subtract it from a particular number. So I'm going to say let's say d3. So we're going to drag this down. Oh, sorry. This is where the sum is very important. So equals sum d3 column d6, right, minus d2. So we got an error. Now saying error in value, so we can always look at why it gave us that error. So we said d3 column d6, which of course d3 column d6, we are looking at the range now, minus d2, which is 200. And you want to say, okay, what could be the problem? And the problem is that you don't add this, you don't put your d2 inside of it. So you can now say minus, right? So that should give you your answer. So we have done subtraction, multiplication, and addition. So we are going to division. Now let's say I want to divide 15 by 200. So I'm going to say equals 15, which is e what? So don't worry, you can put your e in small caps. So you can say e6, right? And the division is using the forward slash. So divided by d2. So I'm going to get 7.5 because definitely that should be the correct answer. Now let's say we want to, I didn't show you this before. Now let's say we want to add for example, we want to add up this. Now you are going to say comma, and this, comma, and this, comma, then this, for example, right? Now I'm going to divide this by this. Let's see what we get. Now, what do you think the problem is? Now, let's look at this with sum and see if we are going to get the same error. Now, let me use sum. I'm going to say open brackets, right? I'm going to say open brackets. Now, I'm going to select this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to divide it by this. Now you see the difference between just typing in just writing equal to and using your sum. Now I wanted you guys to see the difference. Now you see why the sum is very important, because your sum actually is following the rule of Excel formulas rather than just putting equal to and try to get your answer. So there is going to be a part 2 of this sum video, so we'll be looking at real life situation. We'll be talking about employee, their salaries, their ID, the work they do per hour, and so on and so forth. So especially for those who are into accounting and so on and so forth. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.